Welcome to GatorsZone.com. I'm Chris Harry. He's Scott Carter. We're in the Heavener Complex right outside Ben Hill Griffin Stadium, site of the University of Florida season opener Saturday night against the University of Idaho. Scott, there's been a lot of anticipation, obviously, for this season. A lot of that anticipation has to do with the disappointment of last season, but we can put all that aside now and just talk about what's to become of the Gators, not what happened to the Gators last year, and that's what these coaches and these players are really excited about right now.
Yeah, it really is. They have talked about last season enough. They're kind of over that, and they're just want to get back out there on the field on Saturday night against Idaho. And obviously the first place they want to start is with the win. They haven't had one of those in a while. Lost the last 7 games last year, but you know what? For a team that is coming off a tough season, I mean, Will Muschamp has said repeatedly he thinks this is his most talented team, and they got off to a good start through fall camp. Number one, they stayed healthy, which is something we all know about how that played into last season. And it's kind of just inspired, I think, an upbeat attitude going into this game because it was a totally different kind of camp than they experienced last year. Obviously, quarterback Jeff Driscoll is back, and he's going to be a key to a lot of what the Gators do this year, how successful they are. So going into the season opener, it's definitely a renewed outlook, I think, for this Gators program. Compared to the one we saw at the end of last season.
Yeah, Jeff Driscoll, we hardly saw him at all last year before he suffered a season-ending broken foot in Week 3 against Tennessee. You mentioned how key he is, but obviously key behind him is Kurt Roper, the new offensive corner by way of Duke. The guy lit up the offensive statistics with the Blue Devils last year. Gator fans are excited, but now they get to see him in action, get to see him call some plays.
Yeah, I mean, he just met with the media actually, and someone asked him about, is he excited and what's the expectations with the fans? And he says, hey, I'm glad they're excited. I hope we go out there, put up an exciting offense and score a lot of points. And, that's what he did at Duke last year, and he's infused some energy into this program, which they needed it offensively. And you can just tell from talking to Driscoll, to the receivers, to the running backs, the offensive line, it really filters throughout the program. They're excited about what they've done offensively. I mean, he's going to bring in no huddle, up-tempo attack. Fans got a glimpse of that in the spring. It's going to be a lot different than I think what they saw the last couple of years. And Roper's had success with it wherever he's been, whether it was at Ole Miss or 6 years at Duke, where they won 10 games last year, which they couldn't have ever said that before until last year. So he comes here with some credentials, and obviously the Gators hope that adds up to some points and yards on the field.
He's brought energy. He's also instilled some confidence, which Coach Muschamp and the players have said they lost a little bit last year with the offense. Let's go to the other side on defense. The defense has never really lacked confidence. They didn't have a whole lot of splash plays last year, but they got a lot of young players, especially in the secondary back there, that we're going to see on Saturday night.
Yeah, I mean, last year they went into the season with the veteran secondary, totally different thing. But one thing that the Gators feel good about, the one guy they have back there with some experience is quite a player, Vernon Hargraves III, but he's going to have a lot of new faces around him this year, starting with some freshmen like he was last year. Jalen Tabor, J.C. Jackson, Quincy Wilson, all 3 of those guys' names have been mentioned this week as playing possibly on Saturday. The good thing is about having a young secondary, they have some experience up front in this front 7, and as we've seen under Will Muschamp here, those guys usually get it done up front. So obviously Dante Fowler, Michael Taylor at linebacker, those guys kind of anchor that as far as leadership and experience. And the young secondary is going to have to come around eventually and see what they can do, and that's going to hold a lot of the keys to the defense. But they feel good overall about the talent level there.
Yep, we've been talking about it for months. It's time to stop talking. It's time to start playing. Saturday night, 7 o'clock in the Swamp, Florida versus Idaho. Scott Carter will be there. Chris Harry will be there. And you guys will be watching. Thanks for watching us.